Good afternoon and welcome to the April 14th, 2026 regularly scheduled City Commission meeting for the City of Henderson, Kentucky. If you would, please stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Can we have a call for attendance, please?
Commissioner Thomas.
Here.
Commissioner Pruitt.
Here.
Commissioner Witt.
Here.
Commissioner Hargis. Present. Mayor Staten.
I'm here also. Thank you. First up on the agenda, if I could have Charles Johnson join me at the podium. We have a proclamation for Fair Housing Month.
Whereas the strength of our nation and all of its states flows from the promise of individual equality and freedom of choice, and whereas April 11th, 2026 marks the 58th anniversary of the passage of the U.S. Fair Housing Law, Title 8 of the Civil Rights Act of 1968, known as the Fair Housing Act, as amended, which enunciates a national policy of fair housing without regard to race, color, religion, national origin, sex, familial status, and disability, and encourages fair housing opportunities for all citizens. And whereas the City of Henderson and Human Rights Commission are committed to highlighting the Fair Housing Law, Title 8 of the Civil Rights Act of 1968 by continuing to address discrimination in our community, to support programs that will educate the public about the right to equal housing opportunities, and to plan partnership efforts with other organizations to help assure every American of their right to fair housing. And whereas on February 3rd, 2012, the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, or HUD, issued a final rule that prohibits discrimination on the basis of actual or perceived sexual orientation, gender identity, or marital status in regard to housing programs assisted by HUD or subject to a mortgage insured by the Federal Housing Administration. And whereas fair housing is the policy of the City of Henderson, now therefore the City of Henderson does hereby proclaim the month of April 2026 as Fair Housing Month in Henderson, Kentucky, and urges all citizens to join in reaffirming the obligation and commitment to fair housing opportunities for all.
Good.
I just wanted to say that on behalf of the city, I'm very proud to present this proclamation to you specifically. When I think of fair dealings, I think of the Human Rights Commission, and I think of the wonderful job you've been doing for how long?
7 years.
Oh my gosh, I
Yeah.
can't believe it's 7 years.
Yeah.
But congratulations, thank you for working hard
Thank
for
you,
Henderson.
man.
And if you've
Thank
got
you.
anything you'd like to say about fair housing
thank you.
or whatever else you want
Thank
to
the
say.
city for always recognizing this. Thank Ms. Jessa as well as Ms. Donna for getting this together. And this is the first year that Tammy didn't have to remind me of this, so I was able to be proactive and email them. So thank you guys for getting it. Can I get a picture?
Absolutely.
Somebody do a picture for me.
Email the picture.
Somebody do a picture for me and send it to me.
So, thank you.
Jessica got it. Oh,
I'm good for something.
All right. Thanks,
all right. Congratulations.
Thank you, guys. If I can have James and Morgan join me up at the podium next, please.
Whereas J. Sterling Morton in 1872 proposed the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for the planting of trees, and whereas this holiday called Arbor Day was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska, and whereas Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world, and whereas trees can reduce the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, cut heating and cooling costs, moderate the temperature, clean the air, produce life-giving oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife, and whereas trees are a renewable resource giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products, and whereas trees in our city increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of business areas, and beautify our community, and whereas trees, wherever they are planted, are a source of joy and spiritual renewal, now therefore the City of Henderson, Kentucky does hereby proclaim April 24th, 2026 as Arbor Day in the City of Henderson, and urges all citizens to support efforts to protect our trees and woodlands, and further to plant trees to gladden the hearts and promote the well-being of present and future generations.
And we are a tree city, right? What's it mean to be a tree city? Do you all know? I'm putting you on the spot, but I really, I know we like trees and we apply for it.
Yes, you have to plant so many trees, I believe, I think a year. And there's other regulations for what requires you to be a tree city. I can't name them off the top of my head,
But I think we've been there for
30 years.
30 years.
This should be the 30th year.
30th year, yeah, I just
Was
actually brought the plaque
2025, yeah.
for this.
Holy cow,
And we just
that's
received it yesterday, actually.
Yeah, that's great. Look at this.
Nice.
Yeah.
Should say how we get it.
A very long application.
Thanks, James. Honestly,
There you go.
honest and truly, that's a good explanation. And
Yeah.
we apply for it every year, and it just says that we care enough about our environment to make sure that we create a sustainable tree canopy in our city, especially as compared to other cities who do not do the same thing. And so we really do enjoy the work that our Parks and Recreations Department does for us. Do you want to talk a little bit about Arbor Day and about the celebration that's coming up?
Yes, it's next Friday on April 24th. It's at Newman Park at 4 o'clock, so you guys are welcome to come. And we're planting a willow tree.
Oh, good. At the park?
Yes.
Awesome.
It's a rip roaring good time. The kids do like essays and coloring contests and stuff
The
like
coloring
that.
contest this year.
Yeah, and so the awards will be given out, I'm assuming, on that day too, and it's really neat. If you've never been to it, you should consider coming. It's a really good program.
James, what time does it start?
At 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock, Newman Park.
Okay.
But on behalf of the city, we very much appreciate the work that you all do for us at the Parks Department, and I'm proud to present this proclamation to you.
Thank you.
Do you all want to grab a, looks like Thomas wants to take a picture?
Yeah, y'all give check.
Miss Jess is going to come out and take a picture. Awesome.
All right, thanks, guys. This is, actually, let's go ahead and do this one down here. The service award. Is there a pen also to go? It's right here.
Yeah,
If I could have Bobby Putnam join me at the podium. If anybody's here with you, they're welcome to come up also.
Oh, I have a whole entourage.
Public Works Department.
There we go. Hey, come on up.
Come on, guys.
All right, we have a service award, I think it's 25 years,
That
is
is
that right?
correct.
All right, I think Ms. Jess is going to read your service award real quick.
Today, we are honored to celebrate an incredible milestone, 25 years of dedicated service by Bobby Putman. Bobby began her journey with the city on March 26, 2001 as an account clerk and switchboard operator in the Human Resources Department. From the very start, she set the tone for what would become a remarkable career defined by commitment, adaptability, and excellence. In January 2004, Bobby was promoted to Secretary Senior, where she brought her talents to the engineering division within Public Works. There, she skillfully balanced responsibilities between engineering and municipal facilities, proving herself to be an invaluable asset. By July 2007, she transitioned full-time into the Municipal Facilities Division, continuing to make a lasting impact. Throughout her career, Bobby has gone above and beyond her role. During her time in engineering, she also served as secretary to the American Public Works Administration, further demonstrating her professionalism and dedication. Time and time again, she has stepped up, often on short notice, to support human resources, the city manager's office, the legal department, finance, codes, and the city clerk's office. Bobby is the definition of reliability. Whether she's managing the front desk, answering phones, or handling essential administrative work like filing, sorting, and data entry, she does it all with a positive attitude and unwavering professionalism. She arrives each day polished and prepared, and as one of the few employees skilled in shorthand, she brings a unique and valuable expertise to her work. Most importantly, Bobby embodies the spirit of public service. Her willingness to help wherever needed and her consistent dedication have made a lasting difference across the entire organization. Bobby, we are grateful for your 25 years of service, your professionalism, and your commitment to the city. Today it is our privilege to recognize your contributions and celebrate this milestone with the presentation of your service pin. Congratulations and thank you for everything you do.
Thank you.
Well, you couldn't see it because you were looking that way.
Yeah.
But every time Miss Jessa said something nice about you, somebody in this row of people behind you shook their heads.
Oh.
Yeah, they did. They did. Really appreciate your service to the city.
Well, thank you.
What's your secret for sticking it out for 25 years at the city of Henderson?
Well, you know, when I came to work for the city 25 years ago, I had no idea it would last this long.
Yeah.
You know, 23 of those have been in Public Works,
Uh-huh.
working primarily with the Facilities Maintenance Department.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, this is an incredible group of guys. Okay?
They'll pay you later.
Throughout the years, we have formed such a unique bond that I regard each of them as family. These are the guys that keep our facilities operating. They are loyal, knowledgeable, dependable, and dedicated to always doing a good job. They are just amazing.
And-
So I think people that I work with has probably been my secret. You know.
With so many of them behind you, it's probably the right thing to say.
And they couldn't do it without a good work.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah.
Sometimes your daycare, running a daycare.
Right, you know, sometimes I feel like I'm running daycare, sometimes I'm a counselor, you know.
Exactly.
It just depends on what's necessary,
Been
you
there for
know.
all of
We
us.
Well, I
found
can tell
Storm
you
in
from a lot of
2011.
experience that a lot of times
I
when
think it's
when
2009
citizens
or
call us about
2011,
stuff that needs to
the ice
happen,
storm. Without
your
public
department
works, we would never
specifically
made
is the
it.
ones that are usually making that happen.
That is correct.
We had
And so when
trees
people think that I am very responsive, for example, it's
Crazy.
actually you. You guys do go above and beyond, and we really appreciate the work that you do. I appreciate the fact you've been here 25 years.
Thank you.
It is indeed a pleasure of mine to present you with this pin. And then also, we put together these swag bags that Sam started. These are the best swag bags in this part of the state. Oh my gosh, they're fantastic. Yeah, you've got a blue throw rug in there that I swear if you pass it down to family members, it's going to be worth a lot more money. So thank you so much. We
Thank
really
you.
appreciate
Yeah.
it. We do too.
I want to talk some more. Yeah,
You get a second for every year.
right. I just want to say that I believe that the success of any business is good management, good leadership, and respect. And Brian Williams exhibits all these qualities. He is a
That's
true professional, and it is such a pleasure to work for him. And my time here has been educating and rewarding, and I'm just proud to be part of such an amazing team.
No, thank you. Couldn't say it no better.
You want to do your picture? We can, yeah. Would you like to get a picture? You want to?
Yes.
If you want.
Yeah, everybody get up there. I'm Bobby.
Yeah, no, I was like, any other day, work out.
You don't want me in the picture, do you? There's.
Hey, we're gonna have to squeeze in.
One, two, three. Nailed it.
Can I get one real quick?
Thank you.
Not as quick as. I'm a droid guy, this is
Is it an iPhone? Is it an iPhone, Victor?
It is an iPhone.
Yeah, no, it is.
You gotta hold up.
We need to start taking pictures of the board whenever they're taking these pictures.
Everybody's like, hi.
COS. I can forget.
Donna, here.
Yes.
What always drives me nuts on that was when parents are trying to take a picture and they're trying to mock it. I'm like, listen, just swipe. All I did is just swipe. Okay, next up, we've got recognition of a new employee.
All right, if I could invite Mr. Bowles and Mr. Duncan up to the podium, please. That is.
No, he's not here.
Okay.
They
so
are not here. They are working.
All right, well, we'll have to save that one for next time maybe then. So that's all we had for this afternoon.
All right, we'll get them next time. I'm sure they'll be thrilled to be recognized again. Clay Gillum, if you would like to come up to the podium, and anybody who else is doing a presentation. Clay is the head of our Henderson Chamber of Commerce, and they are going to give us an update on what's going on with the Chamber of Commerce.
Is there any way we could get the teal presentation on the desktop up? Or we can just act it out.
Sign language.
I would prefer the presentation.
Kevin.
Beautiful. Thank you,
Do you have a
ma'am.
clicker up there?
Nope.
What I will do is bring you this. Oh, sorry.
There you go.
Just hit over arrow. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, hello.
Hello.
My name is Clay. I'm the executive director of the chamber. I've got Jada Hamby with me. She is our, I'm going to say chief events coordinator, because we throw a lot at her all the time. So, you know, we come kind of try to do these every spring to just let you all in the community know what we've been working on over the last year, and also to thank you for your partnership from the last year and kind of show what we've done with that and what we hope to do going forward. So, okay, that's all right. Numbers are different. Yeah. Okay, so kind of just as a review, and again, I know a lot of you all are familiar with this, but how we operate is we've got almost 500 members. From that group of members, all are invited to join our working committees. We have 6 of those right now. And then usually it's from those working committees, the people that we see day in and day out coming and trying to help the mission of the chamber move forward is usually where we pull for our board of directors. So then it kind of becomes a circle of, you know, from that board of directors, that's how I'm managed, and then I've got my team of 4 operating. So the Downtown Henderson Partnership, what once was its own board and organization, is run sort of like a committee under the chamber. But as you'll see as we kind of go forward, there are a lot of things that that fall into that. Sorry. Yeah, this is like the one I wanted to send, so that's on me. So we are going to act it out. We actually updated these numbers, so I'll just read them out to you and know that they fit within this framework, but it sounds a little bit different. So our total operating budget in 2025 was just under $510,000. About 46% of that income came from membership dues. Another 45% comes from event revenue. So just to kind of put that in perspective, $510,000 is what we operate on in the year. 90% of that comes from either membership dues or events that we're putting on, and then the city funding accounts for about 10% of the overall operations of the chamber. In 2026, we're looking at an operating budget of $560,000, so just under a 10% increase from last year. We are currently sitting at 496 active member businesses. We hope to be 499 by the end of the week, and 500 by next week. In 2026, we have 40 events on the calendar, and that's before we add in things like ribbon cuttings and kind of those extras. But if you do the math on 52 weeks a year and 40 events, that's about an event every 1.3 weeks. Hence why, God bless Jada. There are no longer any DHP memberships. All of that runs under what you get with your chamber membership. Some of our DHP events are moneymakers, some are expenses, some are neutral, but all in all, kind of took a look back today, and it looks like if you take not overhead, but just what we make and spend with DHP events, we net about $18,000 positive on those. And so all of that just gets funneled back into the programs and the infrastructure that we need to run the chamber office and by default the DHP program. We found that this seems to be a positive partnership in both directions. You know, for that investment of $47,000 from the city, that wouldn't be quite enough to cover one full-time employee at our chamber. But really what you end up getting as a return on that investment is a quarter of 4 full-time employees. Some focused on marketing, some focused on events, some focused on big picture and partnerships. You know, plus our physical location and all of the technology and infrastructure that's kind of funneled under that.
All right, so I'm just going to give a little bit of a brief review. As of September 2025, we had a pretty infographic to share, but I'm just going to run through it with you. As of September 2025, we have had 41 new members alone, which I think is incredible. Good job, Madison. And we have raised, so we've done 41 new members, 40 ribbon cuttings. That's a total of 85 total events in 2025. A total of 2,202 total attendees at 2025 ticketed events. Then as well, one of my favorite things on this slide is that in December and the whole year, at the chamber, we raised $42,000 in gift certificates. Now, I want to highlight that that gift certificate revenue doesn't come to our chamber unless the gift certificates aren't spent. That goes directly back into our local economy. So we have a really big benefit with just that gift certificate program alone in Henderson, and it's really incredible. So we're very grateful for Donna every year for coming up with that idea. But leading into that, I'm going to talk about the events that are both on Chamber and DHP. You can see that both Chamber and DHP to kind of have the same amount of work. I'll highlight a few events that are not listed under DHP, but we've added this year. So we have Hop and Shop, Spring Open Houses, Wicked Weekend Crawl, that's not listed on there. Espresso Martini Fest is listed on there. Cars and Coffee, we're adding that one this year. Booze and Bubbly, and then also we're partnering on some other things. We added 4 retail events alone this year just to help our downtown retailers, and we are, both of those are almost the same amount of work. So we'll swap back over. So then we also have DHP non-event work and Chamber non-event work. Outside of events, this is what we're working on full-time. We do produce the Downtown Shopping and Dining Guide. We help do things like Educator of the Year Awards, which you may be seeing. We do all kinds of stuff. I want to focus on the assist and partner with. We partner with Handy. This year we're expanding our partnerships with Handy. We met with both the downtown retailers and restaurants to see how we can better facilitate them partnering together. Out of that, we're going to have a window decorating contest this year. We're expanding our borders for Handy Breaks. More locations are going to be participating. So, and then also on the Chamber non-event side, we do a lot of retail recruitment. Although the city funds the retail recruitment consulting fee, our organization alone has spent and budgeted for almost $7,000 on attending those trade shows and items that we use to promote our community. So let's keep going. For 2026, these are the details for Espresso Martini Fest 2025, but for 2026, it was a 3-day event. We had 185 voting submissions this year. We sold 1,103 Espresso Martinis and 68 side dishes, which I think is incredible. That's 330 more martinis than last year, along with those 68 side dishes. When we conservatively estimate, that's $14,000 in direct spending from this event alone. What I want to highlight is that last year, this event was an expense to the Chamber. This year, it was able to grow, and we were also able to make a little bit of money off of it. So it wasn't an expense. Also, with an industry multiplier added, that's well over $25,000 in economic impact. This event is also free to attend for both restaurant and attendees. So we think that's great. Business Success Series?
Yeah.
Okay. Sweet. We started our Business Success Series in 2025. This was 4 different events with different topics. You can see them at the bottom there. Transitioning from this event, we had 70 attendees every time we would have one of these. And we were really just trying to equip our small business leaders with things that they need for trainings, So this year, for 2026, we did 5 of these events in the series, and we still see great participation with the library. These are completely free, and we're just trying to support those small business owners. They're some of my favorite events, and we learn a lot from them. So there's that. I think this slide is good. Hospitality.
Yeah, we can just go backwards. So it turns out we emailed you last year's presentation after working all day on this year's presentation. So we're just going to wing it a little bit. What we were going to talk about is the fact that from the Business Success Series of 24 and 25 is kind of where the Hospitality Summit was born. Our partnership with the library on this inspired Emily Hurt to think a little bit more outside of the box and think a little bit bigger about what it is that professionals of all types in Henderson needed and how we could kind of provide something that people might not expect. And so that's kind of where she shot for the moon and reached out to Will Gadara and was able to secure him to come to Henderson. So hopefully you all and anybody watching has seen a lot about the Hospitality Summit. It's a partnership between Henderson Economic Development, the Henderson County Public Library, Tourist Commission, and the Chamber. And really none of us are walking away from it hoping to, make anything. It's just about what can we offer to the community to really just take us to the next level. So we're excited to see what comes of that. Another new initiative this year was our Chamber Day at the Capitol. We were grateful to have the mayor join us for that trip. We had a really cool picture of the 25 people that attended. But that was just exciting in the fact that since I've been a part of the chamber since 2022, we had not taken a group to Frankfurt. We had done West Kentucky Thank You Night, but it was the first time really making sure that we had a presence. And it's always really cool to see like a big group from Paducah, a big group from Murray, and then 25 Hendersonians walk in. So we were really grateful for everybody that participated in that. We also produced a list of legislative priorities for the state before we went to that to just kind of make sure that we were all singing the same tune. That included things like fully funding I-69 and the bridge, fully funding the Audubon Conference Center. So we were grateful to get to be a part of some of those conversations that helped move things forward. Again, lovely picture you all can't see, but we brought back the return of women in business for the month of March, which is Women's History Month. We had the traveling frame that kind of allowed people to be recognized throughout the community. I think our favorite thing about that is that once we hand it off to the first person, it's hands off and it just gets to go wherever it goes. So it's really cool to see the different connections throughout the community and how people recognize their own mentors and people that have played a role in their journey in Henderson. So we are bringing back the event also in October, and we hope to restructure it with sponsorships so that it's either completely free to attend or a very low cost so that we can have as many women as possible in the room for that. So rounding us out, you layer on the sweet before the ask. I don't think any of these are going to be like shocking asks, but we've also worked really hard this year on setting meetings with our downtown merchants, retailers, and restaurants to make sure that DHP is still functioning in a way that is productive for them. And one of the meetings we had was about the Sunset District and kind of how that's continued to grow and shift and what impact they feel, whether they think it's something that the city should continue investing in, whether it's something they want us to continue advocating for. And essentially the feedback that we got from the restaurants is they want to keep trying at it. They think that it is starting to gain traction and gain legs. They think that the biggest opportunities to streamline and expand are, number one, expanding it to 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., which would be expanded from the 4 p.m. to 11 p.m. And that's really just to allow those restaurants that do have lunch hours that serve to take part in that earlier. And then to expand it to just be all year round. So instead of having a start date in May and an end date in November, it would essentially be 11 to 11 all year round unless there's a request to close it, i.e. for Handy Fest, for the fireworks date, any time that we think it would be better to have that closed. We've seen some examples in places like Elizabethtown where this has been really successful. And kind of the one thing we saw across all of them is it's simple to understand. They try to make it as user-friendly as possible for the restaurants and the community. And it seems like that has really allowed growth. We as the Chamber and DHP would love to commit to kind of a marketing piece of that. So if you all are open to expanding that to be more all year round, that we would commit to, helping to push out maps and dates and maybe make some marketing content and videos around what it is and how it works and just really help people to understand what that is. And then the final thing that we wanted to talk about is the fireworks celebration. I know that's something we've come back and kind of talked to you all about year to year. This is obviously a big birthday for the United States, and so we're excited to see how we can partner with the city to continue on that event.
So if you don't mind, I'll hop in here for a second. Clay and I talked a little bit. Tim, Mr. Clayton, do you mind come up to the podium for just a second? So, commissioners, as you all are aware, we've, for the past, I guess, couple years now, how many years, Tim, have you all helped fund the fireworks? This will be the third year. Yeah. So aside from the 250th celebration, let's put that on the back burner for just a second. In the past, Mr. Clayton and the gas department have helped sponsor the firework show, and part of the justification for that is that HMG, as a natural gas company, actually has a federal requirement to run a public awareness campaign. And so one of the things that we've done in the past is obviously we get, I don't know how many people, but thousands of people come and watch our fireworks show, and there's radio spots and there's advertisements. And so one of the things that we have talked about together is Mr. Clayton has agreed that, if the commission agrees, and I think we would take a vote here in a second, to once again sponsor the fireworks show this year at the base level compared to years past, that we could strongly put together some sort of plan to promote, 811, call before you dig, making sure that everyone knows that HMG is a sponsor, and just really raise awareness to the dangers of digging in a community when you have things like gas lines and water lines and other things that you can damage. And so, Mr. Clayton, I don't know if you have anything you want to add, but
oh, you said it well. But we already do like billboards and radio spots, and last year we did the Call Before You Dig night at the Flash game, and there's a lot of other things we do for public awareness. But we want to keep expanding that, and any opportunity we get to get in front of thousands of people like this, we're going to try and take it.
So we've talked about a lot, like buying like some yard signs and maybe say like, remember to call 811 before you dig, and putting those in like the viewing areas. And there's a lot of cheap things we can do with them as the sponsor. And so we've kind of collectively been talking about that. And so to get the same show that we got last year, which I believe it was $15,000 last year, the exact same show, not taking into account anything about the 250th, which we'll talk about in a minute, would be $17,500. And so the request is Tim has money in his budget for this fiscal year, not specifically for that, but he has enough room where he could cover that. We talked a little bit earlier, and with the event being on July 3rd, we would probably take it out of this year's budget and pay it up front. So I think what we would like, and Ms. Kelsey, correct me if I'm wrong, but probably a vote of the commission to see if they would be okay with approving Tim using, or Mr. Clayton using $17,500 from his budget to cover the fireworks show for July 3rd.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Tim, but aren't there a certain number of dollars that you're supposed to dedicate toward public education anyway on a yearly basis?
It's not really a dollar limit that's defined. It's more generic than that. But I think our public awareness plan, it leaves room to do it. But there's no specific dollar amount that needs to be spent. But we spend probably $10,000 to $20,000 on the other stuff throughout the year, the billboards and the radio spots and all that. So we want to keep expanding, and we've got the money to do it, so I think we should.
Well, let's go ahead and get a motion in a second, and then we'll have discussion. So if I could, I'll entertain a motion to have HMG be a sponsor for up to $17,500 for this year's fire show at the base level.
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any comments or questions for Tim or for Dylan or for anybody else? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner Pruitt.
Aye.
Commissioner Witt.
Aye.
Commissioner Hargis. Aye. Mayor Staten.
Aye.
And now let's pivot a little bit. So we talked. So that was kind of the conversation we had. But then, as everybody's aware, this is 2026, which is our 250th anniversary or birthday of our nation. And so I don't know if Ms. Gillum or the mayor, if you all want to talk a little bit about, or I can talk about the conversations we've had in the last, well, even yesterday, about how we want to make this year's Independence Day celebration a little bit more special.
Well,
Thanks, Tim.
Let's start with Clay, and I might add a few details after that, too.
Sure. In talking to the city and the county, I think there's definitely interest in just making sure that we mark this occasion. We've gotten to hear some cool stories from what happened in 1976, and just trying to make sure that it's something that people walk away from feeling united as a community. And so we've talked about different things like photo opportunities, kind of like what we set up at Porch Fest, where people could get a picture made that they can remember. We've talked about some little take-home items like a coin or a pin that would be a little bit more sustainable, hopefully something that people would keep, kind of forever. We did look into the addition of a drone show with our fireworks, and quite pricey. Lovely idea, maybe something that we look forward to in the future, but probably not something that works for this year. So really just kind of looking for input and support on how we can kind of partner to make this a bigger, better event.
And just to add a little bit more context too, a proper drone show would have cost $60,000. And so that was kind of budget prohibitive, especially when it's almost 4 times what we spend on a normal fireworks show. However, at the last meeting, we did talk about basically doubling the money that we're spending on fireworks and looking at some different types of visuals with fireworks if they're available, things like that. Also, because of the location of the distillery, we cannot shoot fireworks off where we have been shooting the last couple of years. They have to be 560 feet away from a distillery and what the distillery has, and so that area is not there. So we're going to be returning to the old traditional place where we shot them from, and we're actually going to try to secure a barge again to have them shot off in the water so that we can use that front courtyard hillside in front of the fountains and the signs and stuff for people to come and look. Now, going back to this, there's going to be an additional cost with a lot of these things. We're also looking at stuff like commemorative 250 flags that we can put on all of our flagpoles because we put flags out anyway. It's just stuff like that, stuff to kind of dress up the event, make it a little bit more special. Clay, I think, has secured a band to come in and play some music, and we're talking about possibly having somebody come and sing the national anthem before we have the fireworks show go off. Just little touches that really say America and Henderson, stuff like that. Now, I say all this to say this. The county judge, was in the same meeting that I was yesterday, and we talked a little bit about budget. And what he and I had agreed upon is that we would take back to our respective bodies the prospect of spending up to an additional $10,000 apiece. So it would be $10,000 from the city and $10,000 from the county to get all of these things, to secure the barge, to get an even bigger and better fireworks show, to have some handouts, the band, the flags, just stuff to make it a really good event. I guess we could do that in the form of a motion also and take care of that today, if that is your pleasure. Let me go ahead and we'll take a motion. We can always vote it down, but let's take a motion and then go to discussion on that part. Can we have a motion to spend on behalf of the City Commission up to an additional $10,000 to match what we expect the fiscal court to also do from a funding standpoint to help add some additional funding to this year's festival?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All right. Do we have any comments or questions for Clay, for Jada, for myself, for Dylan, for anybody here? Does everybody kind of get where we're going or understand what we're doing there?
We all do something special, 250 years.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think the mayor should dress up as Uncle Sam. And
Could.
Yeah, do something. Yeah, do something.
I would do it, except your father-in-law. Looks like Uncle Sam. And so we could, he wouldn't have to dye his hair white or anything.
So I think we ought to come up with some stuff.
We could, and
250 years.
there's some stuff I didn't mention that they're talking about too, that we're not quite sure is going to pan out, so I don't want to spoil everything. But we're looking at doing some really cool touches within an affordable budget.
Right.
If we wanted to throw a $100,000 party, we could do that, but I don't think we really should do that. But a little bit extra in splitting the cost, I think we can certainly accommodate that. Anybody else have any questions or comments?
If you have any ideas or suggestions, please let us know. We did, as the mayor said, we probably had about 20 different ideas yesterday, and we're going to we'll be meeting together. We've had a couple meetings now with a large group of about 15 to 20 people, but we'll probably start meeting bi-weekly to start planning for the event. So.
And don't be embarrassed if your ideas are shot down. My idea was shot down very quickly. I thought it might be nice to have an old band that was around when I was younger, called the Presidents of the United States of America come and sing. They're the one that sing Millions of Peaches, if y'all have ever heard that song. But nobody wants to do that, so we're not going to do that. But it would have been cool.
We ought to get a real singer. We ought to get a real band.
I like that song.
Technically, what I said was I had to Google them.
We ought to get us a real group.
They have two songs that you would know.
I think it's a great song.
How much does the real group?
Okay, so we have a motion and a second on the table. Any other comments or questions? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner Pruitt.
Aye.
Commissioner Witt.
Aye.
Commissioner Hargis.
Aye.
Mayor Staten.
Aye, and one more discussion item that Clay brought up that we should go ahead and tackle. Dylan, you want to present that one on the Sunset District and what we're looking for there and what the commission needs to consider there?
So I think on that one really, I think the big thing. So the request is specifically to change the hours from 4 to 11 to 11 to 11 Thursday through Saturday, correct? And then to make it year round. So I think the big thing is really for us to do that. It doesn't take a ton. I mean, Ms. Kelsey, correct me if I'm wrong. The biggest thing is we just need to get probably with our police department, because the way our monitoring works right now is we don't have a designated monitor. We have just them do the patrols, which I don't want to speak for Chief Bowen, but I think that would be manageable. with what we're doing now. So really, I don't know, Ms. Kelsey, I don't know what formal action
We have a security plan that we're going to have to update and amend and get approved.
I'm looking at the ordinance right now, that's what
How
I've been
specific
doing.
it gets.
And so the way that it currently works is that we do Sunset District as a special event. And so they fill out an event form, they put the dates on there, and that's the way the ordinance is written. If you're gonna have a year-round, I'm wondering if we need to change the ordinance and pull it out as a special event and say that we're gonna run it year-round except during other special events.
Except as noted, right?
Yeah, well, instead of as noted, but except when other special events are permitted in the same area of most cities. So I think it's going to take it forward. I think if you're going to do this, you might as well update your ordinance so that we don't require. The one thing about it is we'll have to be more vigilant on making sure that all of our partners in it have their agreement signed and because one of the things that we do with our special event is we check off. All right, we have it, when we get the special event license for it for the year, we check that Rookies has their agreement, that they have their insurance, and so if we're going to do this every year, we're going to need to make sure.
So let me ask a question on that. Would you, because I understand what you're saying, could you also just do it where you do an annual event permit and just do it, and that way we make sure we still jump through those hoops?
Well, you could do an annual event permit, and you wouldn't have to change the ordinance, and they would be responsible for submitting one. So you could do it that way as well. You wouldn't have to change your ordinance. I've already texted Travis to tell him we're going to have to change our website on Sunset District. So you could do that.
Well, and maybe that's a good thing for the first year of trying it, rather than change the ordinance immediately. Maybe we just do that for the first year, and if we see that works and everybody likes that, then maybe we look at it. We can talk, but if you all are okay with that, that might be what I would suggest.
I think that could be beneficial with timing too, just as we're in mid-April, and usually it's like May to Memorial Day when we open it for the year. So that could be helpful to just get us into this season.
When you do the annual plan, one piece of advice is just leave it open enough to where if you don't know the dates of certain festivals where we're going to turn it off, that you're able to go back and insert them. But other than that, I think we're good. And you're talking about doing something kind of like what the high school used to do with the cannons and the noise variants, where they just submit the dates throughout the year that they're going to be doing this and try to ask for a blanket approval.
So what they currently do is they submit it for, and it's usually Memorial Day weekend through Art Hop is how they currently do it, and except for other special events.
And I think and you all are welcome to correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the will of the commission has always been to try to be flexible enough to allow you to use this tool to, if businesses downtown want it, and then we want you and the businesses to have what you need to be able to make it a success without being a detriment to safety or health in the city.
Absolutely.
And so as long as we can fulfill those objectives, I don't have any reason to be against it. Everybody okay with moving that direction?
Simpler the better.
There we go. Yeah, we're good.
So whenever you all submit your next application, if you just want to make it through, I guess, December 31st, and then the next, we'll probably do the next one.
We hit our state license in January.
All right.
Okay. We can talk.
All right.
Good deal.
That
Thank
sounds
you.
good.
Thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
We appreciate you.
I'm going to return here.
And I will say, Clay joined me on a separate trip to Frankfurt, where we met with Representative Adam Bowling. Is Adam Bowling? Is that right? Bowling was his last name. Let me just use his last name. And a couple of other people while we were up there about the conference center. And Vince just did a big long article in the Hendersonian about it as well. But just to let you know, it's the first meeting since the budget was finalized. We did get the $2.8 million. And so we are going to be picking up very soon with the design work. And if things can remain on schedule, we're looking at a groundbreaking sometime around next spring. I leave a little wiggle room in there because it does take a little bit of time when you have two government entities talking back and forth. One slow enough. When you add the second one, it's even slower. But we're going to try to get that thing ground broken on it in spring of next year. So. Thank you, Clay, for going up there. It seemed to be a success. They brought up that meeting, not only there, but they were entertaining the idea of giving some money to the water department. I think the water department did get that money. But they brought up our meeting, and they asked, is this the same city where those two people came to ask for that other money? Because they were, well, I don't want to brag too much, but they were very complimentary of that trip. So, yeah, it was good. Thank you.
Good news.
All right. Next up, we have a consent agenda.
The consent agenda contains the minutes of the March 10th, 2026 regular meeting, the March 24th, 2026 regular meeting, and the April 2nd, 2026 called work session, and resolution number 20-26, resolution accepting human resources report dated April 14th, 2026, and approving all actions contained within, and resolution number 21-26, resolution authorizing submittal of a fiscal year 2027 training facility grant application in the amount of $40,000 from the Kentucky Fire Commission, acceptance of grant funds if awarded, and authorizing the city to execute all necessary documents.
A motion to approve, please. Or, excuse me, before we get a motion, are there any items that any commissioner would like to pull for further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve, please.
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
Commissioner Pruitt?
Aye.
Commissioner Witt?
Aye.
Commissioner Hargis? Aye. Mayor Staten?
Aye. Next up, we have a second reading pertaining to water, sanitary sewer, and storm sewer systems.
Ordinance number 9-26, ordinance accepting public improvements. Ordinance accepting public utility improvements, potable water, sanitary sewer, and storm sewer systems for Bentley Point Section 2, Deer Valley Subdivision LLC, being constructed at the end of Barrett Boulevard in the city of Henderson.
A motion to approve, please.
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
This is a second read, but are there any other additional questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
Commissioner Pruitt?
Aye.
Commissioner Witt?
Aye.
Commissioner Hargis? Commissioner Hargis? Aye. Mayor Staten?
Aye. Next up, we have a first reading of an ordinance amending zoning ordinance.
Ordinance number 10-26, ordinance amending Appendix A zoning article. Ordinance amending Article 2, definitions, Section 2.01, definitions, Article 4, general provisions, Section 4.22, single-family residential architectural compatibility standards, Article 13, R3, medium to high-density residential district, Section 13.03, conditional uses, Article 16, RMH, manufactured home district, Section 16.02, permitted uses, Article 25, Agriculture District, Section 25.04, exceptions, Article 31, Audubon Residential District, Section 31.03, permitted uses, Article 35, RSMH, Residential Subdivided Manufactured Home District, Section 35.02, permitted uses, zoning of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Henderson.
Motion to approve, please.
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Dawn, you did a really good job of walking us through this in an ordinance review before. Can you give us just a summary again of what we're looking at?
Sure, and I will say that this went to public hearing at Planning Commission last Tuesday, and they approved it unanimously with no recommended changes. This is to bring our ordinance in compliance with KRS 100-348, which requires that manufactured homes be allowed in any zone where single-family residential homes. And so we are bringing our ordinance into compliance. That law goes into effect July 1st, and our ordinance takes effect July 1st, this new ordinance.
Yeah, and the biggest main idea that everybody should take away from that is this is not something that's being pushed out from the city. It's being pushed onto the city by the state, and we are just updating our ordinances to be in compliance with what the state asked us to do.
Yes, every city and county, the county voted on theirs this morning. So.
Yep. Any other comments or questions or anything? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
Commissioner Pruitt?
Aye.
Commissioner Witt?
Aye.
Commissioner Hargis? Aye. Mayor Staten?
Aye. Next up, we have a resolution establishing and authorizing a retail plan.
Resolution number 22-26, resolution establishing and approving a retail and commercial development incentive plan for the city of Henderson, Kentucky.
We have a motion to approve, please.
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Missy, do you mind to come up to the podium, please? So we discussed this at length. I know we've discussed it a few times before, but Missy, why don't you refresh us as to why we need this and what we're looking at?
Yeah, so thank you all. I guess it's been a couple months that I came before you all and introduced this, and then probably about a year ago we talked about it as well. As we've been working on retail and commercial development, this is one thing that has come up over and over is What type of incentives do you have? As I mentioned, the state currently does not incentivize retail development, and some other states do that we compete with. And so this is a way for us to be able to say to these developers and retailers, yes, we are ready for retail development in Henderson, Kentucky, and this serves as a guardrails type thing for us. That it doesn't tell them, yes, you're getting this, it will still come before you all to finalize that. It just gives us that these are the types of incentives that could be offered to you, depending on the development.
Anybody have any questions or comments for Missy while she's here with us?
I appreciate all of her work.
Yeah.
Thank you. And it's a group effort.
It is, and it's so important because, I mean, she and I both have contacted other cities that have done developments lately and just to see what they've had to do to entice people. For example, there's a very large development in a city that's not too far away from us. They gave $2 million in cash to incentivize that very large development. $1 million on the front end, $1 million when certain benchmarks are reached. We also talked to Paducah, who's getting a Bass Pro Shop, to see what kind of incentives that they are offering for the Bass Pro Shop, and kind of used the best of everything that we were able to gather and tried to put together a plan that doesn't offer too much in the way of spending money that we already have, but spending opportunity money that we could get instead. So like abating property taxes or abating other types of tax streams or pouring money that they give us for property back into the development of the property, stuff like that. So we try to utilize those things and put together this plan, and it's going to be of great use in Vegas when we go here in a couple of weeks.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I'm excited to finally tell them, yes, we do have something that we can offer, so I'm very excited about that.
There we go. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner Pruitt.
Aye.
Commissioner Witt.
Aye.
Commissioner Hargis.
Aye.
Mayor Staten.
Aye. Thank you, Missy. Next up, we have a resolution increasing the city manager's salary.
Resolution number 23-26, resolution increasing salary of city manager by 3.25% effective March 3rd, 2026.
Can we have a motion to approve, please?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
So I'm going to offer a little explanation on this one. So we are indeed voting to increase Dylan Ward's salary. I wanted to be ultra transparent in case anybody's watching who thinks we're not. So Dylan has worked with us for a year, and in his contract, he has an annual review after the first year, and then we have the option to give him a raise based on that annual review. The last meeting, we went into executive session. We went over his review stats with him, told him the areas that we'd like for him to work on, told him the areas that he's doing extremely well in so far, and had just a really good conversation. I personally think a lot of Dylan. I think he's doing just a fantastic job, especially with where he is in his career so far. I think he's blessed to be in an arrangement where he is able to learn from the top from somebody who's done the same job for a long time. And based on all of those things, the commission got together and decided to give Dylan around a $5,000 raise, or 3.25% roughly, on top of his salary that he currently owns. This is not an annual thing that's built into his contract. And so it is very unlikely that the commission will come back in year 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on, and say, we're giving Dylan extra money more so than what he's getting alongside all the other employees. So just so you know where this is coming from, this was just written into his contract, part of it, and I think it's well-deserved. And I'm proud to stand beside what could be the city commission's decision, depending on how this vote goes. Did we already get a motion in a second? We did. Any other comments, questions about Dylan or about this particular raise?
I think it well said what you said. I would echo everything you said. Yeah, I think he's done a really good job, and obviously we're blessed with really good department heads and everybody. I'm sure that makes his job significantly easier. But I know, personally, anytime I've reached out about someone in the community that's reached out to me, he's always been very responsive, as is everyone in this room and across the city. But I think he's done a really good job.
I think well-deserved, yes.
Good deal. Well, I am happy to call for a roll call, please.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner Pruitt.
Aye.
Commissioner Witt.
Aye.
Commissioner Hargis.
Aye.
Mayor Staten.
Aye.
I can say something real quick. I
Yes,
do just
sir.
want to say thank you all. It really has been a pleasure working with you all. And I know we don't have a ton of city employees here today, but my job is so much easier and so much more enjoyable because of the people I work with on a daily basis. And I'm very thankful for our city, for you all, as well as our city employees. We have great department heads, we have great staff. You all saw some of them today. It really is a great team, and we say it all the time, it's like a family, but we really do have the best team here, really do. So thank you all.
And we're in a great position because you started so young with the city, way back when. You know, we've got somebody who is certainly not green behind the ears. You've got so much experience in engineering and public works and with roads, and as assistant city manager, you've got all this experience, and yet you've got all this career in front of you also. And so as long as you continue to be doing a good job for Henderson, frankly, you're a resource that we don't want to lose and that we're proud to have. So, yeah, thank you.
And I would be remiss if I don't recognize my two former bosses in the room, Brian and Buzzy. You know, they're both, I call both of them second dads, so I appreciate all that they've done for me, so.
And let me go ahead and while before we move on to the next topic, and while we're still on this topic, is it okay? Well, it is okay. It's an open meeting, so I can bring up whatever I want, right? So
You're the mayor.
So this is related to this, and this is very important that we all know and that the commission knows. Right now, we are operating under a timeline. Excuse me, under a timeline that is going to see Buzzy Newman retire at the end of February of next year. And so we are. As we move through the rest of the spring and through the summer, the City Commission will have many discussions on how we see the structure moving forward. If we choose to keep the same structure with a city manager and an assistant city manager, and we've got a lot going on right now, so I'm not sure that we will change that. But assuming we keep the same structure, in the summertime is when we're going to start setting out the timeline for when we would post the new assistant city manager job, when we would do the interviews, when we would hire that person to be the new assistant city manager, and so on and so forth. And so just so everybody's prepared and knows what that timeline looks like, it is subject to change, but that's kind of the operating theory right now with what we're looking at going forward and on into the next fiscal year, just to kind of let everybody know. Next up on the agenda, we've got a municipal order awarding a bid for purchase for a new truck.
Did you vote on it? Yeah, you did, sorry.
Municipal order.
I didn't do my check mark. Sorry.
Municipal order number 33-26, municipal order awarding bid for purchase of one new 2026 four-wheel drive Super Crew Cab 4x4 145-inch wheelbase truck for the Parks Department to Cape Popple Ford, Henderson, Kentucky, in the amount of $45,457.68.
Do we have a motion to approve, please?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
I'm going to make one comment that I always make, unless Robert wants to make it for me.
Go ahead.
I'm happy to see that this went to a local person.
Yes.
And anything that we can continue to do to keep that momentum, that is going to be fantastic.
Yes.
Anybody else have any comments or questions? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
Commissioner Pruitt?
Aye.
Commissioner Witt?
Aye.
Commissioner Hargis?
Aye.
Mayor Staten?
Aye. Next up is a municipal order awarding a bid for gas pipeline.
Municipal order number 34-26, municipal order authorizing award of bid to Rowe Enterprises Incorporated, doing business as Swartz Pipeline Contracting of Olympia, Kentucky, for the installation of a gas main for Phase 1 of Geneva Smith Mills Extension in the amount of $222,915, plus conditional approval for Phase 2 at the same unit price, and authorizing mayor to execute all necessary related documents.
We have a motion to approve, please.
So moved.
We have a second?
Second.
Tim Clayton, you mind to join us at the podium, please? I probably should have talked to you earlier and let you know you were going to be talking about this.
I thought I might.
I figured you'd be ready, though. So this is a pretty major project. Why don't you tell us what it is we're doing here, where the money's going to come from, what timeline looks like, stuff like that?
Well, we first looked at expanding through Geneva probably 10 years ago and went out and talked to residents, and that was before I was here, and it didn't work out at that time. So we've been looking at it for a long time. And when you look at Geneva, you look just past it, you have Smith Mills. So those are kind of two of the largest communities in Henderson County that don't have access to natural gas. Just about every other community does through either Henderson or through Atmos Energy in the county. So it's a pretty good-sized customer base and for us to expand to. And we've had kind of great luck expanding in Bentley Point here in town. So we've done really good on that, and we want to continue that momentum and move out in the county. And we've already talked to some people that are interested in hooking up, so we're just going to take the approach this time of just fully funding Phase 1 ourselves, which is the first 3 miles of the job. And then phase 2 is another 2 miles, so it's a total of 5 miles to get to Smith Mills. So we think we can have less than a 10-year payback if we can get, I think, 100 customers hooked up fairly quickly. And if we get more than that, it'll be even less time to get paid back. And it'll be just a huge improvement to the people that live out there.
Yeah.
And cost savings. And,
Yep.
you know, there's a lot of options they can do if they get natural gas with generators and furnaces and water heaters and all that. So I think it'll be a good project. We have the funds to fully fund phase 1 between this fiscal year and next fiscal year. We'll fully fund phase 1, and it should start around May 1st and be done by the end of the summer. And then we're working on partnerships for phase 2 to get that funded. So ideally, we could do the whole thing in this year, this calendar year, if it works out. There'll still be more to do beyond the pipeline. We'll need to kind of build out the side streets in Geneva and Smith Mills, and we'll do that with our own crews. But this will really get us started. And, 5 miles of 4-inch is a big job, but having a contractor that actually does pipeline, they'll be able to do it fairly quickly. And the Swartz pipeline is the same company that built the Pratt pipeline that we did about 3 years ago. It was about a $1.8 million project, so it's the same company. So
Awesome.
We're really confident that they can do a good job.
I think it's going to work well for a lot of people, and I'm happy that you're looking at it, that the county is also looking at it, and it's going to benefit a lot of people. What kind of any questions or comments or anything else? All right, thank you, sir. Take a roll call, please.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner Pruitt.
Aye.
Commissioner Witt.
Aye.
Commissioner Hargis. Aye. Mayor Staten.
Aye. Next up, we have a municipal order awarding a bid for pavement and intersection striping.
Municipal order number 35-26, municipal order awarding bid for pavement and intersection striping for various city projects to Reynolds Sealing and Striping of Bowling Green, Kentucky, in the amount of $317,074.
Motion to approve, please.
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Dylan?
Yeah, so this is a new bid. As you all know, each year we do annual bids for like concrete labor, concrete material, asphalt paving, rock, that sort of thing. This one kind of falls along that same vein, but this is a new one for us. It's always something that we actually, and Mr. Williams or Ms. Basham, if either one of you all have anything to add, feel free to come up to the podium. But we have our own in-house striping crew in PWI and Public Works, and they do a great job. But when we get into some of these streets that are just like really long and we want to stripe a whole section at a time just to make it look consistent, we don't really have that kind of equipment. That equipment's really done with like a striping truck. We have a striping cart, which can sometimes be a little bit difficult to manage, and it ages. And so this is just a good contract for us to have. It's not just striping. There's also delineators like reflectors that you can put in the pavement. There's a lot of various, with striping, you don't think about it, but there's stop bars, there's centerline striping, there's turn arrows, there's all this different things you can do, tape, thermoplastic, paint. It's a lot more scientific than what you would imagine. And so this gives us a contract where, we have an option to use a contractor if we need it. Mayor, I know that one of the things that we've been talking about for a few months now is us pulling the top 20 accident-prone intersections in the city and examining those. This contract would help us address some of those issues potentially. And just as an update on that, Chief Bowen sent me that list probably a couple months ago, but at the time our engineering position was vacant. And so now that we've got him back on board, he's been working with the police department along with Assistant City Manager Buzzy Newman, and they've got a meeting scheduled for next month, I believe, with the MPO, who's going to come in and look at those intersections and do a study. And so this will help give us options if for some of the intersections there's issues with striping, we can use this contract to address it. So that's pretty much it. Anything, Mr. Williams or Ms. Basham, to add, or is that pretty much good? Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. And you're right. The road safety is always very important, and it bubbled up into a lot of our goals for this year. And this one, as far as examining the top 25 incident rates and looking at things like striping and signage and anything else, visibility and setbacks and cutting bushes down, whatever we need to do about making this community safer. Especially if it's things that are low-hanging fruit. like the striping that we talked about at Second and Green, for example, or the lack thereof. It's nice if you're entering a main intersection that you know if a lane is straight right, straight left, or left only, or whatever it is. It's kind of nice when you're driving those roads, especially if you're from out of town, if you know what you're doing. Watson Lane's a really good example, where Watson and 41 intersects. And by the way, we're looking at doing the state, is looking at doing a major overhaul of that intersection. I think it's going to start next year. So thank you for looking at that. One thing I want to bring up, did we already got a motion and a second on this one, didn't we? One thing I want to bring up is just as part of the discussion while we're on road safety, is, and I know that there might be some people who, I enjoy driving fast, just like everybody else, and this may disappoint some fast drivers, but if you're driving east on 60, once you get past Golden Corral, the speed limit changes from 35 to 45 right before you go over the most confusing intersection in all of Henderson in the Cloverleaf, and right before you enter one of the most congested areas in all of Henderson where the Walmart area is. We are looking at doing some more development in the Walmart area that we will talk about as we go, including from an infrastructure standpoint. But it's one of those things that whenever Henderson placed that Walmart, I don't think it really thought about how it needed to update that speed limit and what we're telling motorists to do. And so I'd like to see us make another request to the state. The state's already agreed to do this, but they agreed 3 years ago and it just hasn't gotten done. I'd like to remind them that we want to see that be 35 miles per hour all the way until you get past at least the Lowe's Road, and maybe all the way up to Killicranky. Because we don't need to be speeding our motorists up when they're heading over the Cloverleaf and then when they're heading into the Walmart and Lowe's intersection. I think that's a wrong message to be sending to our motorists. So if we don't mind, if you could reach out to the state and just kind of put it on the radar. Any other comments or questions? All right, roll call, please.
Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
Commissioner Pruitt?
Aye.
Commissioner Witt?
Aye.
Commissioner Hargis?
Aye.
Mayor Staten?
Aye. City Manager's report.
I have two things this afternoon. So the first item I have is a proposed rezoning of 2560 Highway 60 East, which includes a development plan. And just so you all know, this is for the proposed Goodwill site. So the Planning Commission conducted its public hearing on March 3rd, and the findings of facts were completed at the April 7th meeting. This rezoning affects approximately 6.03 acres. The applicant submitted a zoning change map amendment with a development plan to rezone from agriculture to highway commercial. The Planning Commission then approved the zoning map amendment, which will become final on Wednesday, April 29th, unless an aggrieved party or the Board of Commissioners files a written notice to the Planning Commission within the allotted 21-day time period. As usual, no formal action is necessary by this board unless a written request is received by the Planning Commission from either an aggrieved party or the legislative body on or before April 28th. So I just wanted to bring that to your all's attention that we are in that 21-day period currently.
Thank you, and thank you for the extra explanation. Usually on here, we don't provide as much explanation on these because they're just routine, they go through. In this case, the Planning Commission had a hearing. There was some opposition to what's going on in that area. I'm not too sure that I'm the biggest fan of having a second Goodwill store in Henderson myself. But this is not a city-led development. This is a private development. In reality, in the long-term plan, in the development plan, this land was always designated to be highway commercial. What the Planning Commission has recommended is that this land be highway commercial. They haven't recommended a specific business. But we wanted to give a little extra explanation just to let people know, this is what we're looking at here. This is bubbled up from the Planning Commission, does open up the 21-day window for appeals, and the Commission is expected not to take any further action unless requested to do so. Any other comments or questions about that before he moves on to the next item? All right, thank you, Dylan.
All right, if I can invite Mr. Matt Anderson up from the Fire Department, he's going to give us an update on a upcoming program that they have.
Thank you, Matt. Hi, everybody. So, being the city fire marshal, besides being the one that comes in and inspects everything, how you doing, Mr. Thomas? The other side of my job is I go and I investigate every fire that happens in the city. And one thing I've noticed since I took this job is we have a pretty significant amount of homes that don't have working smoke detectors in them. So we reached out to the Red Cross and have partnered up with them, and we have a lot going on this weekend, but this Saturday from 9 to 1, we're going to meet in the East End over at Powell and Letcher. AKZ and Bodega both hopped on board, been a big help. But we're going to meet there. We're going to block off about a 16 square block area that we're going to go door to door and install smoke detectors. So we got planned that we're going to grid off most of the city. We're going to try to do multiple times of this throughout the next year or so, but we just want to get as many working smoke detectors out for free that we can. So we do need some more volunteers, so we got a lot going on. If you guys are available, it would be great, but if you could push it out on your socials, I'd appreciate it. And then any Henderson resident, as you guys get in your talks or talk to anybody that lives in the city or the county, we give out free smoke detectors to anybody. So if they call any of our fire stations or send us a Facebook message, I'll send a fire truck to your house and we'll put some smoke detectors in. So
What are the times you guys are going to be doing that?
9 o'clock to 1 o'clock in the morning. Yes, sir.
So I will be out of town, or
Yep,
else I
that's
would
fine.
love to join you. This actually was a project that started in the first year of the Inner City Improvement Plan.
Mhm.
I think you were on that committee, weren't you, on the infrastructure committee? Where we were looking at doing this. I'm happy that you guys are doing it, and
Yep.
starting in the East End and surrounding areas, but it's available to all of
Yep,
Henderson.
available to every resident. So,
Gotcha.
yep, big thank you to the Red Cross. They're providing all the smoke detectors, the drills, the ladders. They're sending lots of volunteers. We got a lot of firefighters coming in and doing it to help out, but we can always use more people. So
Man, it's such a
there's a sign up
worthy-
on the flyer. People can use the QR code. So if you guys push that out, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep.
That's such a worthwhile thing. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you, guys.
Yes, sir.
That's awesome.
And that's all I have under city manager's report.
All right, I have one board appointment today, and then I've got a few that we're going to need to make next time, and this is for Parks and Rec. So we had, gentleman had to retire from the board due to health reasons, which left an opening. We had a number of people who applied with interest to be on the board last time, and one name kind of bubbled up to the top on that list, in addition to the 3 that we've already taken onto the board. And that is a lady in the community named Danelle Anguish. Do you guys know who Danelle Anguish is? She is a fantastic person who I've had the opportunity to work on numerous boards and projects with, and she gives her all into everything she does. And she's also an extremely pleasant person and a bright person and a caring person, and so I have spoken with Ms. Anguish, and she does have a desire to be on that board. And so I'd like to recommend her and entertain a motion to approve Danelle Anguish as the next board member on the Henderson Parks and Recs board.
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner Pruitt.
Aye.
Commissioner Witt.
Aye.
Commissioner Hargis.
Aye.
Mayor Staten.
Aye. All right, Commissioner comments. Commissioner Hargis.
None tonight.
Commissioner Pruitt.
Nothing today.
Commissioner Witt.
Nothing today.
Commissioner Thomas.
Nothing today.
And I am going to shut up also and entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. This meeting is adjourned.